Jack, I was watching the Monday Night Football game last night, and I got a few key takeaways from it. And my takeaways are the Browns are a good team. And when they get Deshaun Watson back, as much as we don't like this, everything Deshaun did and everything that transpired and how everything went down, when they get him back, they're going to be able to beat anybody. They're a good defense. They have a great running game, great O-line, complementary offense. Deshaun's going to light the league on fire, I believe. That was a big takeaway I got from last night. And the other is Jamar Chase's agent was the happiest man on planet Earth last night. Oh, that contract extension is going to be, oh my God. He's probably going to reset the receiver market, which somebody will, of course, reset after him. But he's going to reset the receiver market because without him, that offense looks absolutely garbage, Jack. Garbage.
Yeah, a lot of good points last night were made by the announcers and just by watching the game.
Yep.
The Cleveland defense has been abysmal when it comes to the run game.
Yes.
Stopping the run game.
Yes.
Sorry. And they didn't run the ball enough last night if you're the Bengals. Joe Mixon didn't get enough touches.
Try to throw it to him too much.
Perrine did all right.
Yeah.
And Joe Burrow had no protection.
Yeah.
So two of the main big points for the Bengals is that their O-line didn't look as good as it should be. Joe Burrow's been like, oh yeah, it's better this year. They're 4-3. Browns record, it doesn't really give them justice.
Yeah.
Like you just said.
Best 3 and 5 teams I've seen.
Yeah, and the Deshaun Watson thing though, he hasn't played football in 2 years.
Yeah, so
he's going to be a little bit rusty.
For sure.
And he's going to have the limelight on him.
I'm more thinking next year.
Right.
Because what he'll play, he's come back week 11.
Yeah, probably week 12 because it's an 11-game suspension.
12. So those games are going to be his get-back games. And then next year he's going to hit the ground running.
Yeah, and I think right now, and we've touched upon this before on this podcast, is Jacoby Brissett, man, this is because we follow the Thursday Night Football once, and he got the job done. Again, last night, he got the job done. His throws were on point. I thought that his pocket awareness was better than usual. What I loved last night on ESPN's broadcast is the Nats. He really was and it was funny. You can hear how funny Jacoby Brissett is.
Yeah.
Like, he's goofy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, when he did that hard count, he
tried to get
almost got you 55. Like, that stuff is great.
Yeah.
And I think, a lot of the reports last night were about how it's not Jacoby's team, but right now it is.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that he's playing the role of a backup quarterback really well. And I think the role
that's what a backup quarterback's supposed to be.
Right. And he plays his role very well. And I think that gets lost a lot in sports in general is people don't think their role is enough. And Jacoby's a guy that he knows his role and he plays it really well.
Very well. He's a big reason why they were comfortable moving on from Baker Mayfield. Yeah. Because pound for pound, I think he's just as good as Baker Mayfield.
Absolutely. Better
in certain aspects. I truly do. Bigger, better arm. I mean, that's why they were so comfortable. And you see that because they say, Jacoby can keep it afloat for the most part.
Right.
Because if things go their way, besides a couple snafus, they could easily be 5-3.
Easily. It's kicking for
6-2 maybe.
Yeah, they're
single possession games.
Their record doesn't say how well they've been playing, and I think they are probably the team in their conference. I think they're better than the Ravens, in my opinion.
The Browns?
Yes, I do.
You cut it out now.
No, I'm
cut it out.
I think that defense is so scary. That defense is so scary, Sam.
It is a good defense.
And I think that
you cut it out.
No.
You shut your mouth.
Who's better receiver on the Ravens than Amari Cooper?
Nobody.
Exactly.
Who's a better tight end than Mark Andrews?
Dude, Njoku is probably healthy. He's a top 10 receiver, top 10 tight end.
Yeah, 10. Mark
Andrews is
top
great.
2.
Great, dude.
Top 3.
If you're getting the same amount, if you're the number one guy on your team and you're the only guy on your team, the defenses like the Browns are going to figure that out. I think Lamar Jackson's one. You're going to get on.
We'll
this
get
later.
we're getting to the.
But
the
I think,
issues,
but in my opinion, I think the Browns, the record doesn't say enough about the team that they are, the coaching job that Stefanski has done with the team.
Excellent coach.
And I think that
he's awesome.
I do think that as of right now, not all records aside, they are the best team.
Can't say that.
In their conference.
Not ready to say that yet.
I'm ready.
I could see them being the best team when Deshaun's back. They have a great roster construction for sure. But that remains to be seen. I'm not mad at it, though. I'm not mad at your point. I don't agree. But I'm not mad at
Get mad at me.
But another big thing that we need to talk about with the Bengals is, man, like, just because you lose, that's not an excuse to look as bad as they did.
Right.
Because they're not like the Cardinals with D-Hop. They have the three horsemen. They talk about how they have three number one guys. You got T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. There's no Hayden Hurst was there at tight end. Joe Mixon was there. There's no excuse to look that bad. To lose the game is one thing, but they were dominated and they did nothing offense. There was one point you looked up in the third quarter, they had it was almost the end of the third quarter, -5 yards on offense.
In the third quarter, the Browns had 183 and then they had -5.
That is disgusting.
That's horrible.
That's unacceptable. And the O-line's been an issue. They thought they solved it. They didn't. Yeah. Newsflash, still snake. They can't run block or pass block. You got to choose one to be bad at. And I don't think the Bengals are going. Like I said, last year was the stars aligned for them last year, and they got hot at the right time.
Right.
See, that people don't understand in football, it's about playing your best football at the right time. That's how the Giants were able to have their Super Bowl runs, because they played their best football at the right time. They were never the best team. They weren't a team anybody was picking, but they played their best football at the right time. Now, do the Bengals still have time to get it together? Sure.
Absolutely.
Do I think are they going to Super Bowl like last year? No, nothing like that. I think they're a first round exit team at best. They're for sure, I think, being a wild card. But you are what you are, and Zach Taylor has to do a better job of having them ready to go and having them ready to execute. You know, they had done a better job in recent weeks, but that was against slappies. You know, he came out against a good Browns defense and they laid neck.
So Sam, yesterday was Halloween.
Yes, it was.
Did you do anything to dress up?
No, I don't do Halloween.
You're not a dress up guy.
The last time I dressed up for Halloween, I didn't really dress up. I was in college, and they asked me at a party because you had to have costume to get in. Right. They said, "Who are you supposed to be?" And I said, "I'm the realest motherfucker I know." I ain't laughing. Look, you got look shy. I ain't laughing. I was the realest I know. Me. Y'all should wear this costume next. I'm not a big dress up for Halloween. Maybe when I have kids and stuff like that, I'm not a big dress up for Halloween. I just like to see the women in their outfits. I never knew Woody from Toy Story walked around with his ass out, but maybe.
What are we doing?
Maybe I need to watch Toy Story.
You did not let me get to my point. You went totally off script like crazy.
I love the Halloween outfits.
All right. So I don't know if you know this though. For the Eagles, they got 3 Batmen on their team.
Yeah.
And one of them really showed out this past weekend. And AJ Brown. If you're a fantasy owner and you have AJ Brown, you're a very happy guy.
Oh yeah.
Unless you play Alvin Kamara, but that's a whole different, that's a whole different topic. But the Eagles, man, what a juggernaut of a team.
Very well coached, very well put together, and this is going to be part of my point in AYO. But they've made a system in which Jalen Hurts can thrive in.
Right.
They're running triple option. I remember I saw actually on ESPN, Dan Orlovsky said it, and it's the truth because I've gone against triple. They're running triple option essentially. The bubbles and stuff they throw, the lookies and quick throws to the slider or quick throws to the receiver on the outside. It's just triple option. It's a handoff, it's a throw, or Jalen Hurts is going to keep it. And it's very hard to stop. And when you do those things like that, you're going to they have to run man coverage. So then when they have to run man coverage, now it's just a matchups thing. AJ Brown 9 times out of 10 is going to be better in your corner. And then, you got your best corner on him? Cool. We got Devontae Smith too. Oh, you got another second good corner? Well, can they cover Dallas Goedert one-on-one? Can the safety or linebacker cover him one-on-one? It puts the defense in such a bind that it just turns into matchups. And all you saw Jalen Hurts doing, I got AJ Brown. I'm going to put it up to him. And he worked on his accuracy. So the system that they've done now is helping him flourish. But if he doesn't have accuracy, it won't matter. You can tell he's put the work in, and his accuracy is up there, man.
Yeah, he's getting better, and that's what's scary is that he's just getting started.
Every time I've seen him on a football field, I've watched him get better.
It's incredible.
Oh yeah.
Now, a team that does not get better in the NFC is the Packers. Now, what do you? It's a trade deadline today. We have no updates on whether or not teams have made a trade for a wide receiver. This is a team that desperately needs a number 1 receiver.
Absolutely.
It's a team that desperately needs some sort of hope. But do you think the season's over for the Packers?
No.
Okay.
I think they can get a wild card spot, but it's going to be indicative of commitment. I need LaFleur to earn his pay and actually coach these boys. You've been riding Aaron Rodgers' coattails for a couple years. Everybody thinks you're a great coach. Well, it's not. It's not hard to be a great coach when Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback,
right?
And you have Devontae Adams as well. Now you need to earn your money. 2, the GM, you got to go. You tell Odell Beckham, we'll sign you to a 3-year deal and give you some security.
Is he ready to play?
He will be. But even if he's not, it doesn't matter. Because even if he's not the full answer for this year, going forward, you need him. Odell is still very productive. I still think he can be a number 1 in this league. And with Aaron Rodgers, are you kidding me? Odell and Aaron? You still can't guard Odell 1-on-1.
If we were talking about this last year, I would have a totally different opinion. Because last year I would have been like, oh, they should have picked him up. They would have came out on the NFC, but he went to the other NFC team and he won a Super Bowl.
And would have won a Super Bowl MVP without injury.
Absolutely. So
he's still a pivotal piece.
He is.
But he's not it, though. You get him, and then you go get Brandon Cooks from the Texans.
That's amazing that you said that. I was thinking the same thing.
Like I go get both. Cooks would be cheaper, and you to give Odell a 3-year.
I think it's funny that you read my mind because I was going to say you need a guy like Brandon Cooks on your team.
Brandon Cooks is the right now because they also have receivers, but once he gets Randall Cobb back and Christian Watson even got hurt, I mean they're banged up at receiver on top of being a lower, having a lesser receiver group.
Yeah, they have this. They just have this immaturity going on, and
too many young guys.
Too many young. It doesn't help that Rodgers is going out of his way to make that known. He
has to though.
Right, but
he let it slide for a while first. You got to understand, for him to get to this point, it's an accumulation of the same mistakes.
Right.
It's hard being the old big dog on the block. He's coming off of back-to-back MVPs, Jack.
Yeah, he's not.
And look who he's got out there. He's got guys who aren't consistent. Romeo Doubs is going to be a good receiver. Oh, he shows flashes. But players who just flash will get you fired. They get your coaches fired. They get you out of there because they just show you a flash. And then they go dormant. Then they give you another flash. Then it looks like, oh, well, they're not maximizing him. They're not. No. He needs to be consistent. He doesn't have any consistency at the receiver group.
Yeah. I think the NFC has no margin of error right now.
It's open, man.
It's
bottom half is open.
The bottom half is
wild card spots.
So my thing is, if you're the team, if your teams right now, if you're the Giants, if you're the Packers, if you're the 49ers already got their trade. They got Christian McCaffrey at 3 touchdowns, man.
Excellent pickup.
It was.
Scheme
and he fits
everything.
Everything is awesome. See,
match made in heaven.
See, that's where the 49ers got ahead of everybody is because they made that trade.
They gave up a haul to get him too. Worth it.
It is worth it. The dude was awesome against the Rams with the 3 touchdowns and passing touchdown, and rushing touchdown, receiving touchdown. Something that hasn't been done since LaDainian Thomas in 2005.
People don't understand. Like, this is just the beginning.
It is.
The mad scientist Kyle Shanahan. This is gonna get real.
They had no Debo. So, and when he's healthy, that's gonna be great. And I'm gonna stick with, like, if I'm the 49ers right now, I'm sticking with Jimmy G. That's my guy because he's
not for the long term.
Well, this year.
Oh, you have no choice this year.
What I'm saying is, like, you have this year, and if
no, Trey Lance will be the guy next year.
I don't know.
Because Jimmy G. Because I'm be honest.
Oh, remember when I said that the NFC should do it? We just got a little breaking news on
what we got
on the Locker Room Podcast.
What we got?
T.J. Hawkinson went to the Vikings.
That's a great pickup for the Vikings.
Are you kidding me?
At tight end.
Are you kidding me?
Lions are selling.
They have to.
He probably wanted to get out of there anyway. Good for him.
Wow.
That is the perfect mate to go along with Justin Jefferson.
This is what happens in the Locker Room Podcast. We talk about sports. We get breaking news a little bit.
Breaking news, man.
And talk about culture, whatever you need to do. But that just fits my point so well that if, God works in mysterious ways. And he just brought that upon us. That's another team that needed a big trade, and they just got it. They have another weapon besides Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, and Adam Thielen.
Yeah.
They have another weapon. Irv Smith Jr., he was in and out of injuries. He's not very consistent. That's why they went and got
Hawkinson.
And that's why
Hawkinson's a top 5 tight end.
Yes.
He's top 5.
Yes, he is.
4th or 5th, but he's top 5.
Also, for the listeners, I am so under the weather.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You sound you got the suds. That's what you sound like.
Squidward.
You got the freaking suds.
Squidward.
Yeah, I mean, it's this trade deadline. It's all about fit and getting guys who are going to, like, I'm curious to see if my Jets, trade Elijah Moore and who he goes to, because he's a dang good receiver. I wish we get him the ball. But we got a lot of guys who need the ball. And that's kind of our problem. Garrett Wilson's a stud. Corey Davis is no slouch. I do think we need to get him the ball more. But if we can't, he should be in a place where he's going to be appreciated.
Absolutely.
And I get him. I get that dog in him, and I 100% understand. I think it's that time.
I think that's time too.
It's our favorite segment.
Hey yo, what the?
So Jack, my AYO what the? It's the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, we mentioned them earlier.
Everybody's bigging up, the Roquan Smith trade. Good trade. He's the leading tackler in NFL, one of the best inside linebacker, top 3 inside linebacker in the league, arguably top 2. Him and Fred Warner. I get all that. Good pickup for the defense. They'll be better for it. I think the Ravens are hindering Lamar Jackson, and I think they're holding him back. And there's 2 main culprits. It's the GM and it's Greg Roman. The offensive system that they run, I think it's hindering him. At first, when he first came in the league and was still, developing as an NFL professional, I got it. I think they're holding him back now. I can't watch Pat Ricard split out at slot anymore. I can't watch his big ass out there at slot. I can't do it. The lack of getting him weapons, I mean, it really bothers me. He has Mark Andrews and that's it. I do like Rashad Bateman, but Rashad Bateman's been hurt both years he's been in the league. He had Hollywood Brown, who's one of the league leaders in drops.
See ya.
And he's gone. He has no people. Remember the old receiver they had? Willie Sneeds and all those guys. You know where they went after the Ravens? Home. They went home. Because they're not good. Devin Duvernay is your number 2 receiver. I'm not saying he's trash, but come on, bro.
They're holding him back.
They're holding him back. Do people remember what Josh Allen looked like before Stephon Diggs? Josh Allen was mid. Yeah. His last year before Stephon Diggs, he only passed for 2,000 and change. Oh, he gets Stephon Diggs, and he's all of a sudden this great quarterback. No, he's got somebody who can get open. Why do people try to who does Pat Mahomes have? Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce from the beginning. Who did Joe Burrow have from day one? Jamar Chase, his college guy, along with T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd.
Not even day one. Because, again, he looked like Joe Burrow looked like a rookie without Jamar.
Yes, but he still had T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. So he was still somewhat decent.
But once,
he got his number 1. What do? They go to a Super Bowl. Kyler Murray has D-Hop. Everybody has somebody. Mark Andrews is not enough. If your number 1 receiver is your tight end in today's NFL, you can only go so far because you can scheme and stop a tight end.
And that's where, we bring up what I said before, that Amari Cooper is the guy for Jacoby Brissett and
who will
later
be Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson.
You need a guy who mano-a-mano, one-on-one, can get open.
Exactly, yeah.
When the chips are down, and they have not given him that guy. You draft Kyle Hamilton in the first round last year. You don't move up and get a receiver in a heavy receiver draft. You're not doing anything to help him. And John Harbaugh is going to have to answer for this. Ray Lewis prayed him to 1 Super Bowl, and he ain't done nothing since.
Yeah, he's
done nothing since.
I feel like he's way past everything that he's good for.
He's past his prime.
And I'm not
he needs to be held accountable.
Coach. I'm not saying he's not a good coach, but I'm saying you have a once-in-a-lifetime talent on your team.
Yes. And you're not
the GOAT. Tom Brady says he's the future of the league. What are you doing to help him? What are we doing in Baltimore? I'm not claiming Baltimore. That's not my team. I'm saying, if you're them, what are we doing? Why can't we get this guy a contract extension? And why, in God's name, are we making him look bad? Because he's good. Bro. He's a generational talent.
He's got shit around him. The Eagles weren't even all in on Jalen Hurts. What do? They go and get him A.J. Brown.
Given a Heisman winner, Devontae Smith.
But because you can't see what you have at quarterback until you have talent around him. Everything Jalen Hurts is doing, everything we talked about, forcing man coverage, exploiting matchups. People go man coverage against the Ravens. They don't have anybody to get open. They double team Mark Andrews, and they have no answer. They got A.J. Brown. They got Devontae Smith. You're not helping him. You're hindering him. And they need to be held accountable. That's my AYO. I'm tired of it.
I'll tell you what I'm tired of. Look, in the media, it's I get it. There's some reporters out there that when you go to your stand as an athlete, that you don't want to talk to them.
Yeah.
There's they asked some dumb questions. Belichick is the king of calling out people for being dumb. Here's my AO. Kyrie, what are we doing, my guy? You can't be going up there. And I understand that your vocabulary of things is not exactly what you think you're doing. If you put something on your social media that's anti-Semitic, people are going to look at it and say, like, why is Kyrie doing that, right? If I post a clip saying, I love, like, I retweet something from a bar or something, so I love going to this bar, and I was trying to promote another bar. Don't you think I would be promoting that one bar from retweeting it, something that they're doing that has nothing to do with me? Mm-hmm. So what I don't understand is Kyrie has this, he's the Messiah kind of a thing, or he's in this melting pot, and freedom of speech. Do what you got to do.
That's not the problem.
The problem is your reaction to Friedell's question when he was asking about your post, and you turn it so that you don't look like the bad guy. Don't dehumanize me. Do not dehumanize Friedell for doing his job. And I get it.
Friedell did nothing to dehumanize him.
Right. He was asking a question and followed up, and when you got pushed, you didn't like it. And that's
he had no answers.
And you don't have the answers. Wow, that's actually so out of character right now. Wow.
You don't have the answers.
You don't have the answers. But like,
you get defensive when you don't have the answers.
You can't, like, in this world, you can't be doing that stuff, man.
No.
Like, you have, and I get it. There's a lot of sensitive people out there. People take things the wrong way.
100%.
But when it goes into religion, man, and you are not read up on it.
Clearly.
You can't go out of your way to get defensive on the stand and make yourself look bad. Is Friedell's, trying to push him going to look great? Absolutely not in some cases. Mm-hmm. But if you're Kyrie Irving, you have to understand this. Not everybody is going to think the same way you do. And fine. Not a lot of people think his way anyway.
No.
You do a lot of like internal readings. You're a basketball player. You're Kyrie Irving. Everyone has the freedom to do whatever you want. You have the freedom to vote. You have the freedom to speak. But don't think that because you read up on one thing and you sound smarter than a lot of people, that people are going to take you seriously.
That's the thing. He doesn't sound smart a lot. And there's nothing more dangerous than a person who thinks they're smart who's not really that smart. Like, I can, like, and that's what Kyrie gives off. He's just, he's kind of similar to Kanye, and he just spews out things and always says it's for the people, but a lot of times it's really not. I don't know what it is, but they want to be revolutionaries. They want to be different. I don't know what the need to be different is, but what happened?
Dude, another breaking news segment right now. Steve Nash just got fired.
Thank God.
And all right, Sam, we're doing 180. We gotta do what we gotta do. Listen, man.
Oh my God.
This is last episode. Timing. This is insane.
That's crazy timing.
Because we were talking about the NFC earlier, and the NFC trade happened. Now we're talking about Kyrie Irving, and we were about to get into the Brooklyn Nets struggles.
The Nets been
and then the Nets just fired Steve Nash.
I don't know what they were waiting on.
And then who said this earlier? Who said that? I said this last episode, and because you said the Nets are going to go all the way. I said there's no way they're going to do it with Steve Nash as their head coach.
Okay.
See ya. Bye. He's gone. What are we doing in Brooklyn? Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Wow. It's all about, I don't know who's on their bench and who's going to step up in the interim role.
Yeah, this is
because they're not going to hire anybody right now. But I do think that this could lead to a spark for the team because he was clearly in over his head. He should have never had that job. They should have kept Kenny Atkinson. They probably would have a championship. Frankly, Kenny Atkinson's a great coach. And he went back to Golden State and probably felt disrespected. You bring in Steve Nash with no experience, and he just wasn't good. He just was not good. Similar to when Jason Kidd first started coaching. But Jason Kidd took his lumps and he figured it out. He learned, But Steve Nash, he's never been – I never believed in him as a coach.
No.
What is his philosophy? What is his calling card? Nobody knows. He makes no adjustments. We saw that. That was evident. He makes no adjustments.
He lets the players either thrive or lets the players fall.
Yeah.
And that's his down. And
Kevin Durant saved him multiple times. And that's why everybody was so against Kevin Durant. I'm like, yo, y'all aren't seeing it from his point of view. Kevin Durant's been the one there. Yes, he's had some injuries, but when it's always counted, he's always been there. And he's had the team on his back. It's been others letting him down. He come from Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr's a generational coach. Arguably, he's the greatest coach of this generation. And you go to Steve Nash, who doesn't make adjustments, doesn't do anything, there's no flow, of course he will want out. I didn't understand him wanting Sean Marks out because I thought Sean Marks has done a great job assembling talent. I don't think you can say he hasn't. But it was clear that Steve Nash was just not the right man for the job. And yes, Kevin Durant and them wanted him, but hey, you're allowed to be wrong too.
Absolutely.
And they made a wrong choice.
So Jacques Vaughn, that's what they got. That
Jacques
Vaughn.
Why does he sound familiar?
Because he took over for when Nash was out last year.
Okay.
When he was out with COVID, Vaughn took over.
Okay.
So Vaughn's going to probably
man,
take
right?
over. Yes.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, so he's going to take
I'm
over.
rooting for everybody black.
Absolutely, as you should. So here's my thing about the Nets this year. From the games I've watched, it's been a theme. It's Ben Simmons. It's lack of bench.
I don't think it's a lack of bench.
Well, but here's the thing: is like it's mostly Ben Simmons, and I wanted to kind of
call
give
it what
Ben
it
a-
is.
I'm going to call it what it is. Ben Simmons, he's got something going on in his head.
Yeah.
He's not the same. All this off-season stuff is getting to his head. He's still very young. He's our age, if not younger.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to call him immature. He is. He's been dealing with a lot of stuff since, like, imagine us in the league at 18. What were you doing at 18, 19 years old?
It's tough.
It is tough. So my thing with Ben Simmons is you got to talk to somebody, man. You have to see something.
He has been, apparently.
You have fire. Get a new one because it's not. Something is going on in his head.
At some point, you got to come out and just perform. You can talk all day, Jack.
Yeah,
he's been doing it.
I feel so. I don't want to say I feel sorry for the guy, but you know, I feel sorry for the team that is looking for their number one defensive guy, and he was great in preseason when he was on defense.
Preseason is nothing.
So I'm saying
if
like,
he was remotely himself, they'd be 6-1. They're in every game.
Yeah,
he's supposed to be the guy to get him those last few stops to make guys be less efficient. You can't stop anybody from scoring these days in the NBA, but what you can do is make them less efficient, and that's what he does. I watched him do it to Trae Young. I watched him do it to a lot of guys. He's one of the best defenders in the league. I knew offensively it'd take time. We knew that. He's going to kind of get in the flow. KD and Kyrie are cooking.
Yeah.
But he is holding them back right now by just not being him. The assists are there, cool. He's not being aggressive, and he's not playing defense, and that's hurting them. They'd easily be dominating right now. Easily.
They need him to step up. And
just be him.
It has some good pickups with Royce O'Neal.
I love the pickups they have.
Yeah, their pickups are good. I think that
Joe Harris back, Patty Mills. They have a good roster.
They have the guys there. They have the guys that do their job. They fit a roster around
he has to do
Simmons that can really play well. He can drive, he can kick, he can play the defense
He's
at
the
the top. He can lock down the best defender, and everybody else can do their job. KD needs to step up a little bit defensively as well.
He does, but he's been carrying a lot offensively too. But yes, he knows that.
Yes, he does.
That.
So that's a team doing bad. That was amazing that we had breaking news, and it's 2 for 2 today somehow.
2 for 2.
That's awesome. Let's talk about some good teams that we've seen, because I don't want to talk about Miami stinking it up. You know, Butler still has high hopes for the team, but if you don't get a good backup center, or if you don't get big,
I told you you're taking a step back this year.
I agreed with you.
We knew that.
I agree with you.
They're not good.
There's been some surprises that, you know, some good teams, but a team that you've been saying from the start is the Pelicans.
I told you,
man.
That is a well-constructed, well-coached team.
It's a motivated team.
Oh, they're hungry.
So, like, Jose Alvarado will always be, like, to me, there's always that one storyline or team, and I thought that last year he was the storyline. He's the likable guy. He's the guy that will do, you know, his role really well. He'll come out and perform with energy every single day. Mm-hmm. Herb Jones is probably right now a top 3 defender.
Stud.
He's gonna lock up one of the best guys on your team every single night.
He makes them very hard to beat.
And then you have Zion, and you have CJ McCollum. You got Brandon Ingram when he comes back healthy. You know, these guys are just doing their jobs correctly. And then Murphy shooting lights out. Trey Murphy's just unbelievable. And some people will be like, who? Not me.
And CJ has settled in his role as point guard.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
He's a seasoned player. He's still scoring, but he looks way more seasoned. B.I. and Zion are going to take this team to wherever they need to go.
And they still have Valanciunas.
And they have Valanciunas has been eating. Double machine. Zion is still unstoppable. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I think he's averaging 27 right now. I mean,
he's a beast.
He only missed a game or two because he got knocked out of the air. It was a hip bruise, nothing major. He got knocked out of the air and landed on his hip. But him and Bi, I don't see how you stop him. I don't see how you stop him. And Willie Green has made them buy in on the defensive end. I'm telling you, depending on how seeding works out, they could end up in the Western Conference Finals. Depending on how the matchup, they can beat anybody.
They can.
They can beat anybody. They have the defense and the scoring and the size to beat anybody. And they have scorers at all three levels. You got a good guard, you got a good wing, and you got a good paint beast in Zion. I mean, they're going to be a tough out, man. They're going to be a very tough out. And they're prospering and they're doing things. I love Willie Green, man. I thought it was an excellent hire. And the way they turned things around last year showed me how good of a coach he was. They did it without Zion. They make the playoffs, and they're competitive and push the Suns. You know, that's great coaching. When you're less talented than the team and you still take things to that extent, that's good coaching, man. It's great coaching, and I think they're on the rise. Their stock is going to continue to shoot up.
They're dangerous.
Very.
And I'm just looking at the standings right now, and I'm looking, realistically, the Blazers at number 1 is kind of like
it's too early.
It's so early, but I said about Shaedon Sharpe in our last episode.
It's very good.
He's very good. That team is very good. Even with Lillard out, they're still winning games. Anthony Simons
is really good.
Disgusting.
He's why they were okay with moving on from CJ McCollum.
And the Pelicans right now at 4-2, and they're still at that 5 seed. They would be a 3 seed right now if they were in the East.
It's too early to look at standing.
It is, but I'm just looking.
Utah Jazz are up top. I mean, come on.
I know it's early, but it's also fun to see like the Spurs in the top 4.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I love the beginning part of any professional season because the bad teams don't know they're bad. And everybody thinks they have a chance.
If the season stopped today, the Golden State Warriors wouldn't be in the playoffs.
Come on now.
Neither would. Oh, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, and I love watching the NBA, and a team that I think is just gonna keep harassing teams, and you don't want to see it. These Cavs. The Cavs
are really good.
Wow, that they got length. They got Donovan Mitchell. They got Darius Garland.
They have 2 guards who can score whenever and facilitate.
They're fun to. So if you see Cleveland Cavaliers on your schedule, you're gonna be scared.
Yeah,
and I think it's fun being an NBA fan right now.
Oh yeah, the NBA is wide open right now.
Because
it's wide open.
Because LeBron's teams aren't doing that great, and I don't want to downfall on LeBron. I'm just saying, like, it's fun to see other people finally stepping up. Is it good for sales in the sense of that? Maybe not, but in the sense,
it actually is.
Well,
more parity is always good.
Yeah, and I think
more markets, more money,
more players coming out,
more star players,
and I like it. I like
more stars now in this league than there's ever been.
Agreed. I 100% agreed. And the biggest star, and oh my God, it should have been an AO, but I'm gonna keep it at this. Luka.
The Don is coming for the MVP this year,
dude. And that's so funny.
He's next.
Okay, why is he not now though? He's now. How is he next? If he can win an MVP now, with the numbers he's putting up,
he has to win an MVP. You're not next till you get MVP.
But
you're not next till you get to a finals MVP.
This guy
LeBron didn't become next till he got MVP and he took the Cavs to the finals.
But see, here's the thing: LeBron came in right away, right, and he struggled the team struggled in his first year.
Don't say he struggled.
No, I'm saying the team struggled.
His team stunk.
But throughout the years they got better.
Luka's team was just trash in his first year.
Yeah, and Luka is now dragging teams to Western Conference Finals.
Okay.
So how is he not him now?
How long has Luka been in the league?
3 years. 4 years. 4 years.
4 years now. This is year 4, right?
Yep.
LeBron was in the finals year 4 with a trash Cavs team. And MVP. Like I said.
Yeah. Here's my thing with Luka. But people are like, oh, like Luka's he will get so and
he will be the face of the league. One of the faces.
Right.
I don't think there will be another singular face of the league, but that's another topic.
Oh yeah,
there's so much parity. I think
I'm so with you because Ja Morant's in the same conversation. Jason Tatum's in the same conversation.
Damn, man. D Book.
Booker's in the conversation.
Unless Zion be healthy this full year.
Exactly. There's a lot of guys.
There's a lot of young stars. D. Mitch. There's a lot of young stars.
But the narrative that Luka will get there.
He's a star now.
Luka is the guy now. So that
he's not the guy in the league. He's not the guy. Baddest man in the league is Giannis Antetokounmpo.
That's true. Yes.
And after him, in my eyes, is still Kevin Durant. Well, and Kevin Durant or Steph. Steph just won a title in the Finals MVP, so you can't say he ain't in it. It's Steph, KD.
But Steph, I feel like Steph's been in the guy for a little bit. So.
Yeah, but he still won it. He just won a championship. You just won a championship. You just won Finals MVP. You're still that guy.
Yeah,
and his best Finals at that.
I agree.
But Luka's a star now. I'm not saying he's not a star. He's a bona fide star now. We know that. But you don't become him. You don't become the guy until there's MVPs on your shelf and you get your team to the promised land. Even if you don't win it. Because LeBron didn't win it.
Nope.
AI didn't win it. But they got him there. You know, they took lesser teams and got him there. You the guy. MJ couldn't fully be the guy till he got there.
Right.
He had the MVPs. He was the best player in the league. No question. But he wasn't the guy yet.
I think Luka's going to hit that point where
I think he will.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be this year. The West is just so crazy. It's really going to depend on matchup. The NBA is so matchup oriented now. Like anybody can make a run.
Yeah.
Legit. You can make a case for about 6 teams to win a championship. It hasn't been like that in a while, man.
Very long time.
It's open.
All right, man. I think it's time for Hit the Showers.
Let's do it.
It's time for Hit the Showers on the Locker Room Podcast.
I'm going to go first because I know we're going to get deep.
Yeah.
So this will kind of be the I want you to end this off and we'll get to the culture part of our podcast.
Yeah.
World Series going on. I think the Phillies are going to take it in 7. That is my prediction. I think
I'm not mad at that. I'm rooting for him.
I'm a Mets
Yankee fan after Astros.
I'm a Mets fan. I should be saying both. I should be the other way around. But I really truly think the Phillies take this in 7. Their pitching goes to Astros at this point. I think the chip on your shoulder has to be the Phillies.
They're the story.
They're the story, and I think they're going to win in 7. So that's my prediction. That's my Hit the Showers. Wow, I just figured out why they traded for Hawkinson. By the way, I just got the update. Irv Smith's out 8 to 10 weeks,
and that's why.
That's why
they made
so they are doing what they got to do.
Yep. But
So yeah, let's get to your Hit the Showers.
My Hit the Showers is I wish it could be something more upbeat, but this is the culture part. These are things we have to talk about. Migos rapper Takeoff died today at the age of 28. Shot
28?
28 years old. Shot and killed after a dice game in Houston that gone wrong. And we have to wake up as a community and as people and just stop acting like this is normal. It's people. There's video of him dead on the floor. People picking up their phones and recording this stuff. Why have we become so desensitized to death? P&B Rock, when he gets murdered, there's a video. Nipsey Hussle, when he gets murdered, there's a video. And that's part of the issue, but the biggest issue is black men deserve to grow old, Jack. They do. And we can act like the police is our number one enemy. We have issues with them. Police brutality does exist. We're our own worst enemy, man. We are. This doesn't happen to white stars. It doesn't. They don't have to worry about dying at the height of their prime because of gun violence. Gun violence is just such a big issue, and it's bigger than the Second Amendment. Everybody wants to talk gun violence when it's a school shooting and there's kids involved. Of course, that's bad. But this is the gun violence we need to talk about too. These rappers are dying. They're dying in open carry states because everybody has a gun. And when you mix emotions, immaturity, alcohol, and drugs with a gun, good things are not going to happen. And it's getting me sick to my stomach, Jack, because I hate it. Like I said, we deserve to grow old. We deserve to. That's why I love when I get to see legends get old and get out of touch with things, because we don't get to see it enough. We're losing so many good artists, so many good people. And what about the people who aren't artists? The regular people, the innocent bystanders in our communities and things like that. This gun stuff is getting out of control, man, because everybody has one. Everybody has one, Jack. And they're bringing them into volatile situations. And it's leading to so much it's so much hate, so much envy, so much jealousy. And you add a gun to that mix, man, and we're losing just so many good people. It's making me sick to my stomach, bro. I wake up to this. This is horrible, man. We have to be better as people in general, and that's all communities. We have to be better, and if we can't be better, then yes, there needs to be stricter gun laws, because we've shown that we can't be better than that. That's my hit the showers, man. It's sad, brother. It's sad, and I really hate to see it, but change needs to come. Big change.